Daphne. My name is Beth, and I'm back today to record the April 2023 energies for this month for all signs, the horoscopes for all signs. This is not individual though, this is collective, as I have been doing the last several months. So I do want to check my audio before I get started. I keep forgetting to check my audio. There we go. And there we go. The screen's a little bit better now. Okay. So I'm back today to do this recording, and hopefully everybody will like what I have to say, but if not, that's all right. This might not resonate with everybody. I do want to say before I jump in, I am still accepting private readings, so if you'd like to book a reading, it's $77.77 for 30 minutes and $88.88 for 45 minutes. If you want to do an email reading, I also offer email readings and distance healing sessions and things like that. So you're going to want to check out my website, oracledaphne.com, for my full list of services and prices. I do also offer charm readings for $44.44. That's 30 minutes. So so I'd love to read for you if you've never had a reading with me before. I try to keep my readings really inspiring and fun, and I'm very accurate. So and also I am accepting donations. Those of you who want to donate and support me, I really appreciate it. The donation links, PayPal, Venmo, Cash App, are all in the description box below. Even if it's just $10, $20, people, it really helps keep me going and motivated, and I appreciate it a lot when somebody donates. I try to send a handwritten thank you card, and I just appreciate it so much. Interestingly enough, I went back today to take a look at my 2020 wake up video that I did. That's 3 years ago, and that I recorded that video, and this was before the pandemic had happened. So I didn't really know what was coming, like in the sense that I didn't I knew intuitively, but I didn't know what was that going to happen, all the details of what was going to happen. So you might want to check out rewatch that video. It's still very much accurate as far as if you want to understand the energy a little bit better, where things are going a little bit better. But this is a tarot reading, and I am going to pull some cards here. I do want to say that I am an affiliate of Jackery. They do solar power generators. They're super cool. The link is in the description box below if you want to check them out. So let's pull some cards. I am going to jump in. This is for all signs. And let me know in the comments if there's anybody here that's interested in number one, joining my lightworkers group. I'm wanting to start this group. If you do, please reach out to me via email and let me know. And also, I was going to record a learning tarot 101 kind of class or video. I don't know how I want to do it yet. Maybe like a tarot class, or like a learning tarot, learning about psychic gifts class. So let me know if you'd be interested in that also. So let me take a look at the energies here. Something I want to say, this was interesting. This was on Twitter today. First thing I noticed that people are saying that, people talk about the new Earth energy a lot. And they're saying that basically when Pluto goes into the sign of Aquarius, which is in 2 days, it's going to be like a shift in energy, a major shift in energy. And I do actually believe that. So, if you come back to this video in 2 days and let me know if anything has shifted and if you feel like a major shift. Some of you may already feel it coming. We haven't even gotten to April yet. So I do want to say that some of these energies may not apply. You might not actually feel things really, really shift until maybe the end of April or middle of April. this is, again, I'm recording this in March. So this is for April 2023. But I do believe most of my horoscopes are timeless and the energies may apply later. You might feel things shift later. We have this interesting chariot as the foundation. And this is a very fast moving energy. And I always think of this energy as as the foundation card that colors the entire reading. So for April, I would say that April is going to go by really fast. That every element of April and every person that you meet, it's like you could bump into someone and like talk for a couple of minutes and then go. It might be like feeling like you're turning the pages of your life really, really fast. To me, the chariot is a very fast moving energy. So and we have the Two of Pentacles also showing up, and the Two of Pentacles is work-life balance, juggling things. I do see this as a lot of times a Gemini male, or a male that acts like a Gemini in your life, somebody who's juggling. They have, more than, they have at least 2 kids. Maybe it's in multiples of 2, 4, 6. They might have 10 kids. Who knows? They have like 2 jobs, or like, this is like hustling in some way, 2 things. So, the interesting thing is that you might actually have a lot of things that you're juggling, and it might happen really fast. So because the chariot with the Two of Pentacles, to me, it's just like juggling really fast, or juggling a lot, having a lot on your plate, and maybe needing to take a pause or kind of slow down a little bit and say, okay, I think you're going to want to ask yourself, no matter what you encounter in April, how fast is this going? Is this going at a speed at which is comfortable and normal and healthy? We have the Lovers in the crowning position. And so to me, this is a relationship that might move very, very quickly. You might end up dating for 3 months and decide to get married, or dating for 2 months and decide to get married. It's very fast moving energy. I do feel like for some of you, this is maybe like a third party situation, where, you're maybe involved, with someone who's married, or there's swift moving things there. But I actually feel like for most of you, this is I want to say something fresh, something new, something different, a relationship that's new, that's different. I do feel like there's an element of temptation though for some of you, for someone that's watching, where it's like, maybe things moved really fast in a relationship that you were having with someone who was like, going outside of their marriage, or going outside of their partnership. But I'm seeing these calla lilies at the bottom, and to me, when I think of calla lilies, I think of weddings. So maybe you're going to a wedding, but I do also feel like for most of you that are maybe single, this could be falling in love and getting married. I've never seen this before, actually. And, that whole saying, like, your love is written in the stars, I'm seeing something about that, like that whole saying, like, match made in heaven. There's something very special about, like, someone that's watching is going to be getting married to someone very special. That's what I want to say. Or they're going to have a lot of, like, really interesting details, maybe on their wedding dress. Like, to me, I'm seeing like all these little stars on her dress that she's wearing. So some of you may be interested in fashion. Some of you may be, fashion designers, or very interested in like making your own stuff. You might actually make your own wedding dress, or design your own dress, or do something like that. But to me, this is a very special union. To me, it's a very special union. Now, again, going back, it could just be going to like, for some, it's just going to a fashion show. This is like going to a fashion show or going to some place that's very Venus like. Maybe it's going shopping. Maybe, you know, you're going dress shopping, or maybe you're going jean shopping, or you're doing a lot of like Taurus like things where you're just going shopping. But to me, I see like this relationship, the lovers is a very positive relationship card. And I'm seeing a lot of positivity come through here. So if you are single, I don't feel like you're going to be single in April. I feel like you're going to meet someone. You know, maybe through like a social circle. You might actually meet them through some kind of social media. You might meet them when you're out socializing in some way at some group, or where there's drinks involved, could be bars, you know, things like that. I meet a lot of people, this is going to sound interesting, that refuse, a lot of singles that refuse to go to the bars. They're like, I don't want to go to the bars. But I have to tell you that that's where, you know, a lot of single guys are. So if you're a female and you're watching, you know, this is where you just you know, you make a plan and you go maybe and grab some food somewhere. I actually met, I always meet people if I go out somewhere. I grabbed a burger one time at this bar, and this guy sitting next to me, and I had a really great conversation. And he was in a relationship, and I was like, your girlfriend needs to put you on a tighter leash. She let you out. What are you doing? That's what I told her. It was funny. You know, it was just a funny conversation that we had. I don't know. To me, this is a very positive, this is crowding. So it's beginning of April. Some of you, you might just be doing some very fun things. You might have some social events that you're planning. The weird thing is like, I feel like for some of you, there are problems within a marriage. So some of you that are married, okay, specifically married, I want to say that there's problems there. There are problems, and I'm, you know, a lot of issues with, you know, I call this, bottling and popping. You know, the Temperance is getting pissed off at something. You know, the Ten of Swords is, you know, being kind of paranoid, worst case scenarios, getting really swept up in drama, feeling really, really angry. You know, the story of the Ten of Swords is a girl that's fallen off a cliff. She's very, very upset. So this is where you want to like reach out to friends and family, call the crisis line if you need to. This is where, you know, you're going through stuff within a relationship that's not easy and that's not fun, and I see that here. To me, like, this is something where you need to like lay it to rest. Like, there is something you need to lay to rest. I don't know what that's going to look like for those of you. Like, some of you, this is like a relationship which you need to step away from and to say, okay, we've reached our limit. Like, it's not no longer viable. Like, we can't take this into the future. You know, we got the Two of Swords, which is irreconcilable differences. You know, getting to a point like, okay, I can't move forward in this or anymore. It's no longer healthy. You know, back when I was younger, I did not know what that meant, really. Because I hadn't experienced a lot of relationships when I was very young. And I think that I didn't really understand at that time what a healthy relationship looked like. So some of you need to really ask yourself, what does a healthy relationship look like? What does it mean to me as a, you know, as a person, like, or to you as a person, not to me, but you know what I'm saying. And I feel like for some of you, you're trying to figure out your direction in life. You're like, you've got an inner compass, and you're trying to figure out your direction, because we have this, it's not even a tarot card. It was actually a greeting card that I cut. And you can see like all these like pelicans are these birds are flying in a certain direction here. And this is the north direction. But we also have this again, not a greedy, this is a greeting card. This is a cow, okay? Card that I cut when I did this when I lived in Nebraska. And to me, this represented like the Midwest and like leaving the Midwest. So some of you, but again, the direction is northwest, north and northwest. And it also represents moving. So some of you, like, there's a strong compass element. So some of you may want to move north, or may want to move west, or may want to, you're trying to figure out where you want to move to or what you want to do. And there's this kind of thing where you're trying to figure out your direction too. It's not just like it's not just literally like you're planning on moving, although some of you that might be true. It's more of like you're trying to figure out where you want to go next in life, your next steps. What are going to be the best steps to take? You're trying to kind of analyze it and figure it out. To have these two cards in like the center of the reading, to me, that's the compass. That's like your heart, which is your compass. It's your inner guide, your inner intuition, whatever you want to call it, your soul, if you want to call it your soul. Your soul is trying to figure out what is the best direction to take right now in life. And because it's in the center, it does have a very spinning like quality to me. It feels like it's very spinning. It's like a compass that kind of like has a needle that's kind of moving, so some of you may be worried about time. To me, there's things that it feels almost rushed. It feels like maybe you feel like you're out of time, or you're pressed for time, or like maybe you got to plan a move really fast, or like you want to get out of where you live really fast, or you have to for some reason, or, it's just like, but it may not actually be that case. It just may be how you feel, because again, with the compass in the center, it may just feel like you're spinning your wheels, or you're trying to figure out where to go, what to do, what your next moves are. And you haven't even though we have northwest here as like directions, you might still question it. You might be worried about it, fearful about it. And worried about like the next steps. And to me, the Two of Pentacles in this future position, which this could pop up mid-April, where you are having to get a lot of things done, and you're trying to get everything done, and you're trying to keep things in balance, and you're trying to kind of like just check your boxes, and like to me, it's just like going down a list, checking your boxes, and being like, okay, this is what I have to get done here, and this is what I got to do over here. And it's just like, it feels a little bit overwhelming to me. There is this Gemini quality to this reading, because we have the Two of Pentacles as well as the Ten of Swords. Doesn't mean you are Gemini, just means there's like a strong Gemini quality. And the Gemini quality kind of keeps things breezy, and can get very overwhelmed. And they take on too much, and their list is too long. It just becomes where they don't say no. You might be a person that just has taken on too much. You haven't said no. You're maxing yourself out. You're trying to achieve as much as you possibly could in a day. And you're really pushing. I can feel like you're really pushing for that. I feel like whatever it is that you're pushing for, I do feel like you're going to be successful at, because we have the Chariot as the foundation. So even if, let's just say, you don't feel successful in the relationship that you're in, you will be successful in another marriage. If you don't feel successful for whatever reason and trying to figure out, okay, where is my place? Where should I go? You're going to be successful in finding a place to live, or having a successful move, and moving successfully out of whatever it is that you're doing at this time. It will be successful. Okay. So I feel like that's very, very positive. Actually, the Chariot as the foundation is one of the most positive cards that we could possibly get in this position. It's a little bit, like it's almost like it's a little bit ungrounded. Let's just put it that way. Because to me, the Chariot, there's a lot of water energy here too. Typically, this is Cancer, Scorpio, Pisces energies, but I do also see the Chariot as Aquarius, and sometimes Taurus. It depends. I mean, the Chariot can be pretty much everybody. So I feel like this is in some way going to apply to everybody in the sense that whatever it is that you're not successful with in April with, you're going to be successful later in time with. And I also feel like, for some of you may feel like maybe, this whole failed marriage thing or like this whole failed relationship thing in our culture. You can't fail at life. There are no mistakes in life. You cannot fail. There's nothing you can fail. And in fact, I went through this really rough period recently where I felt like I just kept coming up short. And then in some way I just kept failing. And like I got 4 rejections for different job applications all in the same day. And I could be in the middle of doing something and I'm trying to stay positive and then I'll get another rejection. And it's just like, how hard can you fail? But the thing is that failure, even though it makes failure, quote unquote, it makes me feel like crap for whatever it is that I didn't get. But then at the same time, pushes me really, really hard to work harder, to stay focused, to be motivated. So some of you, you're going to be successful in everything that you set out to do in April. You just have to stay focused, stay motivated, and don't let any quote unquote failures, whatever that is, stop you. It could be a relationship. It could be a person that is like, or it could be, to me, it could be just rejection. It could be rejection. Like you could be going through something similar where you apply to something and you don't get it. I think I still feel people do not grasp what's really going on right now. They just don't. They're not grasping it. They're still pre-pandemic 2019. They're stuck in 2019 somehow. Their brain is still stuck on the economy being what it was pre-pandemic. They're still stuck on the same salary pre-pandemic that like for employers. And they're still stuck on, what to expect from employees even after. And it just seems to be that there's a lot of stuckness for people in 2019 pre-pandemic. So this is going to be a learning curve. I feel like it's a learning curve month. The learning curve is trying to get up to speed and again, we have the Chariot as the foundation. So this is getting up to speed with where everything is at. Not just in your personal life, but what has really taken place since 2019? What really is going on? Because that to me is something that I think people really need to look at. And it's overwhelming and it's hard, but it just has to happen. That's how I see it. Some of you are blocked emotionally because some of you are blocked emotionally because you're being stubborn about stuff. To me, this is the Emperor in this position is either blocked by a father figure in your life, or this is the Emperor being you, whether or not you have any Taurus, Capricorn, Virgo in your chart. This could be just you being stubborn, hitting a wall of some kind emotionally. And this is the hardest placement, I think. There's one other card that when it shows up in this emotions position, I think the Queen of Swords in this position is really, really tough. But to me, this is like, having like a Capricorn moon or dealing with someone who is like a Taurus moon or a Virgo moon or a Capricorn moon, or dealing with someone who has very, very strong resistance to things, very strong no to things. And I was thinking about this when I was doing the dishes today. I was thinking about how the North Node is still in the sign of Taurus. So the no, the quote unquote no, or the rejection is going to be strongest during this time. In fact, I wouldn't be surprised if in July, everything started to really, really pick up. Because to me, the Aries is like, the Aries North Node is like the yes. It's like, yes, let's do this. Let's just go up and go. Aries is like, doesn't stop to think about it too hard, just wants to get to the mall as fast as possible. So they can go shopping. Like, it's just simple, you know? They just want to get to wherever they need to be as fast as possible. So you can have some Aries in your chart. You know, it's very interesting on Twitter. There was this one post that asked me what are my favorite signs to hang out with, and I would say Aries and Scorpio. Aries because it's always fun. You never know what to expect, and it's simple. It's not that complicated, you know? And no, whatever you do for an Aries, they always really appreciate it, you know? Whatever it is that you do for them. If you show up for them, they appreciate it. You'll be their best friend for life. If you show up for an Aries, they will be your best friend for life. And there's a strong friendship element, I feel like, with Aries people in general. I feel like they make great friends. You know, that's just my feeling. They make great parents also. Very, very good parents. Although I have to say a lot of times they don't get the opportunity to make a great parent because of other challenges and stuff they got going. But I feel like in general, Aries is a very, it's a great sign to hang out with. But I also feel like Scorpio, you could talk all day to a Scorpio and never, that Scorpio will not get tired of the conversation. Like, it doesn't matter how much you put into that conversation. Everything you put in, they vibe. It's like, and actually the more effort that you put in, they appreciate. So like with some people, they're like, you know, they can't really handle a long conversation. With Scorpio, that's not the case. You could talk to them all day, all night, and they never get tired of it. So those are my two favorite signs to hang out with, to friend with. But I mean, I have friends that are all signs. So it's not, you know, but it's interesting that we're talking about this Aries energy. And, you know, I don't know where I was going with that. I think I got lost there somehow, but I don't know why it's funny. It's just popping up right now. Oh yeah, I think we were talking about like Capricorn moon, difficult emotions. You know, I've seen this emperor in this position as a blockage. I don't usually I don't factor in this position in this my Celtic cross spreads as much unless I see a very difficult placement. Difficult placement would also be like the Four of Pentacles or something like that, where somebody has given up any kind of hope or joy or positive energy, and they've been sold into the mindset that money is everything, you know. So again, you know, the Emperor in this position is a blockage somehow, emotionally feeling like you've hit the wall, like you can't get anywhere with, you're not feeling what you need to feel. To me, this is a wall with your emotions, not expressing emotion, not being able to be free with your emotions, not telling anybody how you feel. If you have issues with a father figure, this could be any father figure. It could be an uncle. It could be a grandfather. It could be a cousin. It doesn't even matter. It could be like a step parent, too. Like, it doesn't have to be anybody, you know. This could be a family, even a family friend, like someone who's very strong, usually older, wiser person. But I feel like this is difficulty with them and they are blocking you in some way. You know, this is very interesting. I was talking to a friend about this. As an empath, if someone gives me this silent treatment, it feels like it's like a black wall, but it doesn't feel good. It feels negative. It feels like angry and sometimes hateful and sometimes malicious and sometimes just like I can feel that wall. And, you know, so this is where, you know, you might be dealing with someone who has some emotional blockages, some emotional problems. Like, it's not a good feeling, to, you know, and some of you might not even realize that this is what's happening. If anybody's ghosted you, usually that feeling, it doesn't it's not always that case, like, because so some like light workers have the ability to like do shielding and things like that. When you do a shield, it actually is, it's more of like, it's black. I see it as being black, but it's neutral. It's not hateful or angry or whatever, but like the silent treatment, to me, that is negative. So if someone's giving you the silent treatment, or just ignoring you, flat out ignoring you, that can have a lot of negativity attached to it. That kind of a wall. But to me, this is also, yeah, like issues with your father, issues with blockages, like a blockage there. Being stubborn as an individual, resisting having emotional connections or conversations, you know. I don't really know how the Chariot is going to affect this Emperor. It almost feels to me like this Emperor is, again, it's like this swift moving energy of the Chariot, and the Emperor is resisting it. It's like the Emperor digs their heels in. So for some of you, you might feel like you have to do that because whatever is happening too quickly, or you just want to try to get control of situations. Some of you may put a wall up because it's overwhelming. Whatever's going on is overwhelming to you in some way. I'm getting confirmation on that. This is sort of like the combination of someone who's like really emotional. Like, to me, that's the Chariot. Someone who's really emotional. And the Emperor is not expressing emotion at all. Like, just sits there and looks at you. And to me, that's not okay, actually. To me, that's actually abusive. I think it's an abuse. And I actually feel like the silent treatment is abusive as well. That's just my personal view. I don't care what anybody else says, and psychology wise, it can probably be analyzed, but I don't care. I think that yeah, like if this is you, then you might be dealing with someone who has a lot of emotions in your life. You know, someone who's very, very emotional. Or you could be dealing with someone who's resisting or giving you the silent treatment or not communicating in a healthy way. And that's their lesson to learn. But it's very hard. It's very challenging. To me, I would move on from this person, whoever this person is, whoever a stubborn person is. Because you just can't, with the Emperor, you cannot change the Emperor's mind. And I'm looking for it, the only card that can really change the Emperor is the High Priestess. And the story about that, and that has not come up yet, and I'm pulling some of the cards to see if it comes up, and it has not come up yet. Like, the Emperor will have met its match when it meets the High Priestess. The High Priestess is like, you know, the story, and again, it's my creation. I visualize the Emperor and the High Priestess having had like a fling, you know, like 20 years ago, you know, in their time, in a magical world, in their time, they were past lovers. And then what happened is that over time, maybe time through time, space, and difference, they went their own way. But when they meet again, there's all these unresolved issues. And the only one that can get through to the Emperor is the High Priestess, because the High Priestess does not put up with his bullshit, okay? She sees right through his wall. She thinks that he's totally being fake. And he really needs to grow a pair. So, like, you know, it's, you know, the High Priestess, you can't hide anything from a High Priestess. The High Priestess just, you know, has their psychic awareness is turned on. They know what's going on. So, I would tell you, you know, too, there's also like, I see the High Priestess and the Emperor as like parental figures, where over time, parents have to say no to their children because that teaches them respect. It teaches them, you know, it guides them through their life. So this is not necessarily negative because either you are learning from this Emperor person, or you're learning about boundaries from this Emperor person, or you're learning about what is going to be healthy for you in a relationship and what isn't. And if you get the silent treatment, that is not healthy. If you give the silent treatment, it's not healthy. Now, we've all done it, but it's still not healthy. It's non-communication, you know? So, you know, that's how I see it there. Okay, there's other cards here. I feel like the second to even the last week of April is going to have more of a romantic vibe. It's going to have a more spring-like vibe because we have the Empress showing up. And the Empress, to me, is that romance energy, the love energy, the giving energy, feeling abundant, creating things, making things. To me, we have the Seven of Cups. We also have the Four of Wands. So there is some good news coming your way. I don't know what that good news is going to look like. But to me, that's the Joy card. And that is a card that's coming in from the outside. So that's good news. At a time when you really need good news. Or something coming in for you at a time where maybe you're just burnt out. Or you're worn down. Because we have the Four of Swords too in this position of what's coming in from the outside. And I don't know why, and I don't even know really what to make of it in this position. I feel like there's a lot of stress for some of you, and that stress is going to cause fatigue. It's going to cause you to be like, okay, I need to take a time out, or I need to take time for yourself. Maybe this is sleeping more for some of you, or just feeling overall fatigued. For some of you, because we have the Seven of Pentacles. The Seven of Pentacles is timing issues. I don't like timing issues. I've never seen this before. In this card, I've always literally saw her lying down. But today, I actually see her standing up. I see her standing up and being at peace with her situation. This is the Serenity Prayer. She's standing up, but she's at peace. She's holding a sword over her chest. And she's said her piece. Which I feel like for some of you, saying your piece is going to cause conflict, but I feel like you've said it anyways. Or there's nothing really stopping you from saying it. To me, this is self-expression. You know, we also have the Chariot combining with some of these things, and to me, this is news. This is information. The Chariot is a phone call. Getting news of someone getting married, getting news of someone getting divorced, getting news of, I don't know, for some of you, news that someone's not feeling the best, or someone's in the hospital, or someone has passed. I actually felt that someone has, I feel like getting news that someone has passed is showing, it came through, but it's not coming through in the normal way. I don't know why it's coming through this card, but it just is. I do feel that getting news that of some level of conflict, there's some issue, like family conflict, or getting a phone call about some family conflict. But I also see like the Chariot with the Four of Wands, which is getting positive news also. hearing about some kind of money. So do we have some news about money? Because the Nine of Cups is back in the day. when I had my first Shadowscapes deck, it was about a positive flow of money. It was about wealth and riches. So money's coming to you in some way. It might kind of come out of the blue in some way unexpected. You might be, I don't know, just maybe in the evening sometime, just kind of taking a rest or taking a pause, and you might get an email or you might get a phone call that says, hey, this is, you're going to be getting a check in the mail, or like maybe, maybe you do, something like I do, where you get donations or people, require your services for something. So to me, this is money. I also feel like the Nine of Cups is also, and going back to what I said, the Nine of Cups is wealth, It's not just, it's a healthy flow of money, being in the flow of money. It's not just like, oh, you're going to get some money. This is like, no, like the flow of money is coming into you. So I feel like this is very positive for some of you who have felt like maybe things were moving slowly, or things, just kind of sucked on that scale or on that level. There was something else. Saying something else. Oh, I was gonna say, this is Cancer, Pisces, Scorpio males, and this is one of the player cards too. So those of you dealing with the Cancer, Pisces, Scorpio male, you might be, kind of needing to watch what they say or watch what they do, because to me, this is, a male that doesn't want commitment. This is a male that just wants their freedom, and they do whatever they want. They don't really care what they say or how their actions affect anybody. They're all up in their emotions. They're all about what it does for them. It's not necessarily a card about commitment. So I would keep your eyes peeled for that. I feel like that's going to become very apparent to you later in time. Some of you, this is going to sound interesting, that you might decide to do like some kind of bake sale, where you have to like actually make a lot of things very quickly, or you might be taking a lot of orders very quickly, or like getting through a lot of like maybe handmade items, or because the Empress is about handmade items. So maybe you're trying to like make stuff very fast or very quickly and get those, you could have like a store or a shop or something. You might be on Etsy. Whatever it is that you're making, I feel like you're trying to, like, you're in production mode. That's what I want to say. You could be like me. I'm recording like crazy amount of videos. I gotta work on my watch time hours. Those of you who are not able to donate, please leave my playlists running. Okay, even if you go and you do stuff around your house or whatever, if you're home and you can, leave the playlist running for as long as you can, even if it's just like an hour. Super helps my channel. But donations would be also great. Oh, we have the High Priestess come out. There we go. This is exciting. I haven't seen the High Priestess and the Emperor in a long time. I knew it. I knew it. See. Yeah. The High Priestess knows. The High Priestess, she knows what is up with this Emperor dude. She knows. Now, the interesting thing, this is the real twist here, okay? So the real twist is that if this Emperor person is not you, okay, just being stubborn or having your walls up with your emotions, or let's just say the Emperor person could still be you, but I feel like the High Priestess is also about pregnancy, okay? So this could be sleeping with someone who comes back after like 20 years, or this could be sleeping with someone that has been very challenging. Let's just put it that way. The Emperor is very challenging. So you could have a very challenging relationship to the Emperor, or be the Emperor yourself, okay, and be very challenging. But to me, that if you sleep with the High Priestess, I feel like there is a pregnancy. because the high priestess, she's holding a pomegranate. And, she's wearing kind of like a midriff outfit. And she's a very sexual creature. The funny thing is like, even though she's like a fully awakened being, she's a very sexual creature, and people don't necessarily look at her that way, but she is. I don't know. Like, I don't know why I want to smile at this. This is funny. So some of you, this could be an unexpected pregnancy. I'm just going to say that. Unexpected pregnancy, sleeping with this emperor. I feel like you're going to know who this emperor is in your life. You're going to be like, oh, yes, I know. I've had to deal with him before. Some of you would never sleep with the emperor again. Like, some of you, you're like, I would never blah, blah, blah. But I don't know. Like, the emperor, to me, is a challenging person, but it's not always, I don't know, they can be very seductive. I don't know if you've ever met a Taurus or Virgo or Capricorn. They can be very seductive in the sense that they can be very, just earthy, and you can feel very relaxed and grounded around them. And then suddenly, your clothes come off. So this is where I'm telling you gotta watch out for this. I think it's funny. Anyways, okay, we're gonna move on. I want to see some other messages that come through here for you guys. Yeah, I think April's going to be a very interesting time. Very interesting time. Some of you, like those of you who have had kind of like a challenging time where you're just like, you may be praying a lot, or you're just like, maybe you go into meditation a lot, or you're really wanting things to be maybe not quite so challenging. To me, there's this thing that's coming through about, it's interesting about the wall coming down. And it's interesting, we were talking about, the emperor, which is the wall. But to me, this is connecting to somebody emotionally. But this is where also your prayers are answered. The answer to prayer is the outcome of this other spread. So some of you, there's going to be things that come through that are very positive, which, maybe are answers to prayers, whatever that is. Maybe it's $10. Maybe it's, being able to pay a bill. I don't know. But to me, it's answers to prayer. And for some of you, connecting emotionally to someone or having an emotional conversation, or having a conversation that needs to happen, that's healthy. And for some of you, you're learning to have healthy emotional conversations, or you're learning to have conversations that are healthy. There's going to be new opportunities. We got this new opportunities card in April. I feel like, for some of you, it is a job. For some of you, it's, I want to say new, like maybe business, new business contracts, new business opportunities. I want to say like something to do with podcasts. It's very interesting because I was just looking into like creating podcasts today on my channel. So you're going to want to keep an eye out for that. But, maybe someone here does podcasts or does something where they're, on social media where people are listening in or talking to them, things like that. Going on a show. The two things I would caution against, and I feel like these are in the periphery, but it's still showing up, okay? The two cards that are showing up are having too much of a single-minded focus. Really going into a tunnel. And blocking things out, or spending way too much time doing one thing, or working, straight through 8 hours and then going into making dinner and going to bed. Like it's too straight. I want to say you need to branch out. My guide's showing me like a tree, one of the trees that are outside, and you need to branch out. And that kind of covers a lot of bases too. Branch out if you're doing, money wise, that whole diversify thing. You want to be careful that you don't spread yourself too thin, because you could become more like mayonnaise, I feel like, in April. But I feel like only doing one thing is going to cause issues. But then at the same time, doing like a million things is also going to cause issues. So you're going to need to find the balance in between. It's a very delicate balance that you're going to have to work on in April. And some of you have single-mindedness about certain things, maybe certain beliefs. Single-mindedness can come up, narrow-mindedness can come up with certain things. So again, being open-minded at this time, being like having a can-do attitude. For some people, this is like not making room in your life for relationships, not making room in your life or time in your life to date or to be social. Just focusing on maybe work, or just focusing on, maybe taking care of your kids or whatever it is. Like it's a singular focus. And the other caution I would say is, with the Aries energy, the sun is in Aries. I would say having too much, like, in some way, being overly optimistic, not thinking things through enough, not looking at the fine print, not being totally honest about how you really feel. Like, I've met some Aries that they don't know what love is. They don't know how they really feel, and they can't admit how they really feel about things. This is not all Aries, but I feel like that's the energy right now with the sun in Aries. So everybody needs to kind of like definitely watch your passwords this month. Make sure you're covering all your bases with anything contracts wise, policies wise, mail wise. If you get something mail, you could get a piece of mail do right away. I wouldn't put it off. I would do it right away. The interesting thing about the Aries energy is the get up and go. So it's the positive of it is you've got this and this sun momentum of getting up and going and doing it and getting it done. But the problem is that some of you might overlook some details, or you might be kind of go into something thinking, oh, that's really going to be great. Oh, how fun that's going to be. And then you're really not planning ahead. Maybe you're trying to climb a mountain and you've got no snacks. You don't have anything to build a fire with, So you've got to really watch the details, be honest about how you feel, and don't go into anything too fast without thinking it through. That's what I want to say. On the positive side, I do feel like there's two cards. One that talks about embracing transition. Like, if you can't see how things are going to go just yet, that's okay. I want to tell you that. This is also a card about things turning out all right. So believing that things are going to be all right and turn out all right. And some of you, and this other energy of peace, of harmony, of being on the same page, of finding the middle ground of agreements. To me, this is getting to a point where you get past issues and you're able to meet in the middle somewhere. So I feel like everybody really needs to embrace that in April. Any little last minute messages, and then I'm going to end this reading here. Did anybody have any comments? Didn't see any chat. Okay. For some of you, I feel like you might be in communication with someone who, like, you haven't been talking to. I feel like communication is really going to be amped up. It's going back to what I said. I do feel that. Some of you are going to be focused, if you are pregnant, very focused on pregnancy and maybe going to see the doctor. Female stuff I'm seeing. Some of you are going to be working on your health and taking better care of your health. I would avoid wheat and like dairy and like chocolate, all the good things in life. This is the time to really avoid that. I would say Aries is the one that's just like, let's order a pizza, or like impulsively goes out and buys, you know, a chocolate bar, or, you know, like they love their sweets. They love sweets. So like I would careful about eating too much sugar or sweet stuff in the month of April. That's what I'm seeing. Some of you do need to get like tested for your allergies, and I know that there's tests that you can buy um, online that will test for like food allergies. You might want to do that. Some of you really need to look into like what are you allergic specifically, and maybe do like an elimination diet. I'm seeing that for some of you. Um, there are some blessings that are coming in. Like you might feel again like you may have hit the wall, but there are blessings that are coming that I feel like you're going to be very thankful for. It's just like a moment in time. I want to remind everybody that things will pass if like they're challenging, or if like, you know, you've, you know, lost your creative vibe, or you feel like you're not able to move forward on something. It's going to pass. That will pass, and it will pass quickly and actually pass faster, especially if you kind of pull your power back and you're like, okay, whatever's not working, I'm going to do something different. Or whatever's not working, I'm just going to try to make the best of whatever I have at this moment. I would avoid alcohol um, in the month of April. You know, coming out of Pisces season, you know, people might really want to hit the bottle really hard. I would avoid any alcohol because it's not going to help you. I just don't feel like it's going to help you. It might actually slow you down. I think this is where, you know, I want to leave it. You know, I just really want to remind everybody that you're loved no matter what you look like or how much you weigh or what you're doing in the world. You're loved. You're loved by your spirit guides, even if you yell at them sometimes. And you're loved by your deceased loved ones, even if you also yell at them sometimes. And you're just very loved. You're loved by your pets. You're loved by the trees. I do feel like this is going to sound strange, but it's come up several times that the trees are trying to have like, and I don't know why, I've been seeing it lately, different places, like, and I don't know why. Again, it's the trees are trying to communicate some things right now, and so pay attention to what you're seeing when it comes to the trees, and try to listen and focus on doing more for the planet, doing as much as you can for the planet this time. I would not cut a tree just because you feel like it right now. This is a time to plant a tree if you possibly can, and continue to plant trees, and continue to focus on seeds. And I mean, this is springtime, you know, so plan to do a garden this season, and plan to plant an orchard this season. And this is a very important time for that. I don't want to, you know, miss saying that, because this is the time for that. And the trees are communicating a lot right now. To me, there's a lot of communication among the trees right now in the tree collective, and it's very important we pay attention to that and we listen. So more so than ever. So it's very important. They're saying that everybody needs to really plant. I actually feel like the tree collective is a little bit angry. Because I want to say of developments. And kind of like this disregard and a disrespect for the tree collective. You know, like a housing development going into like an old forest kind of thing. And I want you to keep your eyes peeled for more of that. I feel like it's the equivalent of There's an account on Instagram called Sky Dog Sanctuary, and I'm gonna leave a link in the comments below if you want to check them out. Sky Dog Sanctuary, they rescue Mustangs, but it's the equivalent of rounding up wild Mustangs and like sending them to slaughter. I mean, it's just not okay. And to me, it's the same thing with the trees. If you kill all the trees, then we all die. That's just the bottom line. So, and if you kill off the beings in spirit, like all the horses, to me, the horses are the heartbeat. It's very interesting. There's a very strong heart-centered energy in this reading. Some of you are very heart-centered human beings, and I applaud you for that. This is the time to be heart-centered. But to me, horses are very there's this very strong heart-centeredness about them. And to get rid of that or to squash that is just a testament to what we are dealing with as far as the evil that on this planet right now. And I have to say that, and I'm going to say that, and that's a very strong statement for me to make. I don't like to really even talk like that because it can give, those beings some power, but I really feel like we need to focus on, if you have horses, or if you can go to like a sanctuary somewhere and get in touch with horses and be heart-centered. I listened to, it's very interesting. I listened to this, I don't know who it was. I don't know if it was a psychic or maybe it was a podcast one time that said, if you have a pet, specifically like a dog, and you're feeling upset, all you need to do is put your hand over their heart very gently and listen to their heart. And as soon as you do that, it grounds you. It's like immediately grounding. So, if you have a pet, put your hand over their heart and listen to their heart just for a second. It grounds you. It helps you remember that they are beings as well. Okay. And, it gets you back into your heart space as well, yeah, so I think that's where I want to leave it. There's always, more to do, but thank you guys so much for being amazing fans and followers. I appreciate it. Definitely give me a thumbs up. If you can, please comment. On this video, I'd appreciate that a lot, even if it's just to say hi. It helps, with the algorithm. So, I send everyone big hugs, big kisses. And I will talk to you guys again soon. All right, take care. All the best. Bye.